We are talking WWE Royal Rumble. It is happening today. It's going to be a big one. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. Looking forward to the Royal Rumble. But before we get to that, I do want to let you guys know where my co-host Kyle Driver is. He is taking a leave of absence for the foreseeable future. And, I wish nothing but the best for him.
Welcome to the lower mid-card, where legends rise. Brian and Kyle Driver, the ring's wise guys. Talking smack, breaking backs, no holds barred. On the lower mid-card, the action's avant-garde.
We've been pretty spoiled lately. Last time I was talking wrestling, we were talking about Saturday night's main event. That went off really, really well. And then to follow that, we had the change to Netflix, Monday Night Raw to Netflix, which went really, really well. I think actually that opening episode of Monday Night Raw to Netflix was almost like a pay-per-view. It was that good. We had Rhea Ripley become recapture her title, which was pretty cool. We got the reveal of Penta joining the WWE, which he's going to make a massive impact, not just as a luchador, but in that like cruiserweight division. Who knows, man? Maybe we'll even see him, against some of the heavyweights and capture a world title in the future. It's possible. Doing this by myself is a little weird because I don't have somebody to bounce off of and whatnot, so I'm having to adjust. And hopefully, we get I give you guys about the same amount of content time wise and whatnot, but you never know. I could speed right through this since I'm the only one talking. Following Netflix, we had another Saturday night's main event, and I'll be 1,000% honest, it just felt like a filler. It felt like they were, trying to fill a slot that has been Saturday night's main event has always been a popular one. But it definitely felt like that was a filler because why? Because it was a week before the Royal Rumble. I didn't really understand why they decided that they were going to do two Saturday night's main events back to back like that. I think they should have spaced it out a little better. And I truly thought, man, we've had like 2 months buildup of this Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens feud, and I'm ready for it. Like I was ready for it at Saturday night's main event. I thought that's where it was happening. It did not go down there, and so sure enough, I feel like it's overdue. But that gets us into tonight, the Royal Rumble, man. Which this could be one of the most legendary Royal Rumbles we've ever had. And at the same time saying that, it is probably one of the most stacked Royal Rumbles. But with saying that, there's only, I was looking at the full card, and there's only 4 matches on the card. That's it. So I'm just going to go through this. We're going to talk about it, and I'll give you my predictions and whatnot, who I think could be a runner-up, the craziest thing that could happen, the most common thing that could happen, the opening match on the card. You have the tag team championship match, the WWE tag team championship match between DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa versus Motor City Machine Guns. And it's a 2 out of 3 falls match. I truly don't know much about this rivalry, if there has been any. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the tag team titles have just been lost in the sauce. I know there's a lot of people that really like the Motor City Machine Guns. I truly have no interest in either of these teams. And if I had to just from my brain without choosing one from my heart, I would say Motor City Machine Guns definitely win this match. I say DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa put up a good fight. It's gonna go to that third fall 100%. But with that being said, the Motor City Machine Guns just got signed to a contract not too long ago. They just made their appearance, I believe, after SummerSlam, their debut. So I would assume that you're going to put them on a big stage and have them win in a big way. And in all honesty, I would say that this is probably why the tag team championships are on a main card like this. It's probably why they're on the Royal Rumble. We haven't seen a tag team championship match. I don't think we've seen one since WrestleMania on a big PLE. So right off the bat, man, I believe that's going to be your match. I would assume it's going to be between 35 to 45 minute match. It's going to be a long one. And I would assume that's what they open with. And then from there, and so, I kind of gave my prediction already. I think it'll end up being 3 falls. I think they'll both go 1-1. And then I think Motor City Machine Gun will go all out and end up winning, but it will be close. That way it doesn't hurt anybody's reputation, and it's a good match, right? I think both teams are good performers. I just don't have a horse in the race. Like, I don't think the tag team championship matches have been that interesting for a while now. However, that is your result. Okay. Following that, I think we did our first Royal Rumble match of the night. Your women's Royal Rumble match. Okay. Winner gets a chance at the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 41. And here are the entries we know of. We know of 14 out of 30 entries for the Women's Royal Rumble match. The first announced was on January 13th, which was Nia Jax. On January 20th, they announced Bayley. On the 24th of January, they announced Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Bianca Belair. And then we got Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyrie, Ivy Nile, Io Sky. And then literally yesterday, we got Chelsea Grin, Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, and Piper Niven. So, I mean, overall, you 14 out of the 30, that gives you kind of a good idea of who is going to be there and whatnot. But there is a dark horse. Last year, we saw the first ever collab with the WWE in TNA, which brought in Jordynne Grace. And as of 5 days ago, Jordynne Grace signed a contract with the WWE to become a WWE superstar. So you will definitely see the debut of Jordynne Grace. However, I think your winner of all of this is the one that has been absent for months now, Jade Cargill. I think Jade Cargill makes a return. You're going to see Charlotte Flair. But I think Jade Cargill is your winner. And I think she's the star that has gotten the experience, the hype. She's won a women's tag team championship this year. She had Bianca and Naomi, from what we know, it seems like, at least, somebody beat her up backstage and she got injured and whatnot. But this was when she was a champion. And then Naomi ended up taking over and holding the title with Bianca for a while and whatever, right? I think Jade comes back with a vengeance. Really excited. Normally this would be like my bathroom break match because it's going to be an hour long. We know that for a fact. Hell, it still might be my bathroom break match. Just because of the fact that sometimes it can get a little cheesy. I'm looking forward to the return of Asuka. That'd be cool to see. But this entire roster of women is going to be one of the better Royal Rumbles we've seen in a while. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think who else. I wouldn't mind seeing like Lita or Trish Stratus. I think that would be cool. You get maybe a face-off between Trish and Lita one more time, because they kind of left that story open-ended, and Lita never got payback, so this would be like the perfect opportunity for that kind of a situation. Moving on, I do believe you will have the ladder match for the undisputed WWE Championship, which will be between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for the undisputed and Winged Eagle Championship belts. They'll be suspended above the ring. The first one to grab them wins. I truly believe that, you know, the Winged Eagle should have been one night only. This whole Kevin Owens storyline has been drawn out. It's like a 2-3 month saga, and I'm burnt from it. It was cool, kind of while it lasted. I just Kevin Owens has not really done much for me in the title picture for years now. He's fun mid card, but like main event, man. I think they said that he has not won a title out of the last 6 shots he's got. He's had 6 opportunities, and out of the last 6 opportunities, he has not won once. And then so to kind of degrade the Winged Eagle title and disrespect it, it's just weird. It's very strange. And for the WWE to allow that has been kind of a strange thing too. I know Cody's a big fan of the Winged Eagle title, and maybe after this he gets his own belt. I don't think he will. I think this is his little stint. This is his little, the gift from the WWE to him, is allowing him to win that belt back, kind of a thing. Even though, he never lost it. I mean, I don't know. I think the match will be good. Cody Rhodes, his run as WWE champion, in my opinion, has been pretty lackluster this entire time. There hasn't been very many big foes or people that I truly enjoy watching him compete against, in the aspect of like, I'm, off my seat with anticipation. I've enjoyed the matches for what they are, and what he does is amazing. However, at the same time, I haven't had the true feeling of like, oh my God, this is something special. And listen, you all know that I am a Roman Reigns glazer, you could say. But with that being said, I'm not comparing this to Roman Reigns. I just don't. I've said it since the beginning. I've said it since before WrestleMania. I truly wondered how his run would be, and I found that his run is what I thought it would be. It's kind of lackluster, and he's held the title for 3/4 of a year now, and I mean, we're getting another Kevin Owens match, which is, I don't know, there's got to be something better than that. But this is what we got. I'm excited, man. It's the second time we've had a unification undisputed WWE Championship ladder match. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that will be good. There's no way Kevin Owens wins this. This is a Cody Rhodes moment. This is for him and him only. And this is for all the Cody crybabies, in my opinion. So they can relish in this one last moment. And he'll have a few more moments before WrestleMania. But I truly believe this is his moment. And hopefully it's entertaining, and it turns out better than I think it's going to be. I always think that Cody has been one of the most skilled in-ring performers. He's fun to watch, but like I said, I really wish the talent on the other side, the the heels would be more interesting. Not a hater. If anything, listen, I'm pretty open-minded. I like Cody. I really do. I didn't like the way things went at WrestleMania, obviously, because I'm a Roman Reigns glazer. I'm a little biased, I'm not gonna lie. But I understood. And it was a special moment. It was special for Cody. It was special for the WWE. To close the night out, man, is the Men's Royal Rumble. I think at this point, I truly think we're going to be probably at like the 3-hour mark already. And that's what's so insane is like on prior Royal Rumbles, when I was a kid, man, especially during the Attitude Era, you had like 6 to 8 matches, and now it's down to 4, but these matches are more meaningful and they're going longer. So I think we'll be at the 3-hour mark by the time we hit the Men's Royal Rumble match. But this Royal Rumble match is going to set the stage for WrestleMania, as we know. However, it's not just going to set the stage for the World Championship match at WrestleMania. It's going to set the stage for many different outcomes, many different matches, many different storylines, and it's going to potentially close chapters of storylines that we haven't seen in a while. We have 18 out of 30 entries that we know of. Okay, so I'm going to go down the list and then we'll talk about it. On January 3rd, LA Knight was the first to announce that he'd be joining the Royal Rumble. Then John Cena on January 6th, Raw on Netflix, as well as CM Punk, Jey Uso. Announced by Paul Heyman on January 10th was Roman Reigns. Following that on Raw was Seth freaking Rollins and Drew McIntyre. On January 17th on SmackDown, Rey Mysterio. Then you had Sami Zayn. Then Shinsuke Nakamura. Then Logan Paul. Then Penta. Chad Gable. Braun Breaker. Carmelo Hayes. Damian Priest. Santos Escobar. And Jacob Fatu. Now, the thing I will state about that list is I think you're missing 2 people that are very, very... it's pretty well known if you're a fan of pro wrestling, they're going to be in the Royal Rumble. I believe it was the last Raw and the previous SmackDown. We had the appearances of IShowSpeed and Kai Cenat. So if you know anything about content creators, the world of streaming, Twitch, YouTube, etc., you probably know who IShowSpeed is, and you probably know who Kai Cenat is. They both made appearances and were given free reign on the idea of they could do whatever they want at the Royal Rumble. So they're going to be there as guests. However, I guarantee you 100% they're in the Royal Rumble. So that gives you 20 out of 30 entries for the Royal Rumble. Now, going down this list, the first one that I see is John Cena. So John Cena is on his last run. And from what I've read, he is a front runner to win the Royal Rumble. I think that is 100% accurate because there's talks of him being in a slump. He hasn't won like an important match in like 5 years or something like that. Maybe it was even longer, but he's on a downhill. He's in a slump, and so John Cena needs this. He needs this. However, I do think that he could potentially work himself in a different situation to get himself to WrestleMania. I don't believe that this is the only shot for John Cena. I believe he's also on the promotion for the Elimination Chamber. So I think that right there, and I believe that's in February, that right there is a huge, point to point out, is that John Cena is on the promotion for the Elimination Chamber. typically when somebody's on the promotion for the Elimination Chamber, that means they're probably in the Elimination Chamber. And if it's not always the case. Sometimes it's just for pure promotion. But this late in the game, if you're on the poster for the Elimination Chamber, it probably means you didn't win the Royal Rumble. So I'm going to say John Cena does not win the Royal Rumble. Will make it to WrestleMania, potentially in a championship match. But he'll find his way through like the Elimination Chamber. I don't think it will be through the Royal Rumble. And we'll talk about that next time we're here. CM Punk is another name that comes to mind. He has a very good shot as well because of the fact that he has never main evented WrestleMania. However, I could see him being, I think he'll be in the Final Four. I truly think CM Punk will be in the Final Four. It makes a lot of sense for CM Punk to win this year because he was second to Cody last year. And he still hasn't, finished his story, you could say, being in the main event at WrestleMania. Jey Uso will definitely be in there in the last 10 guys, but I don't think he has a chance. Roman Reigns will definitely be one of the last 3, guarantee you. And if I had to be 1,000% honest, I think Roman Reigns wins. He's one, if not my main prediction. So I'm going to put him as a front runner. I'm going to put him 100% as a front runner, not because I want him to win, more so because I think that he is buku dollars, and the match between him and Cody makes all the sense in the world. It will end that trilogy, and so on. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, those guys, they'll be in there for a while, but I don't see them winning. I do see Drew and Seth potentially leaving this with a feud, with some form of a feud. I would even say that CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, that whole feud hasn't really ended, so I could see that continuing outside of this match. I could see it getting revamped and reheated in this match, and then coming out of this match, you're going to get one of those combinations. I don't have Dominic Mysterio on this list, but I wouldn't mind seeing, in my opinion, Dominic Mysterio enter the Royal Rumble, and then him and Ray kind of get into it. And I wouldn't mind seeing that at WrestleMania. I loved that match, but I've said this multiple times. I think that's the retirement match for Ray, and I just don't know if Ray is ready to retire. So, but I think that's all that's left for Ray. He hasn't been on TV much lately. Maybe face to face with Penta, that would be cool. I think that would be awesome. Maybe a face to face handshake kind of a situation for Ray. Sami Zayn, he is one that people are highly talking about. I've seen so many people think that he's going to win the Royal Rumble. I don't see it. I don't know how others can see it, but it's just the one thing that Sami hasn't done. Sami hasn't, won the Royal Rumble. He has not won the Royal Rumble. He has not won a world title yet. So it kind of makes sense, especially if you think about, if you think about Gunther being the champion, like a rematch at WrestleMania, Gunther versus Sami Zayn, that'd be sick for the world title. I would love to see that. So I guess you could put Sami at the front. Shinsuke Nakamura, he'll be fun, but and more than likely start some form of a feud with someone. Logan Paul, he'll be fun as well. I don't think he'll win it. I do think he'll be in there for a while, and towards the end, he'll be there. This is the thing, man. There's so many names and so many big stars that it's like, what do you do with them? Because Logan's going to be at WrestleMania. He's going to be at these, at least the big 4 events throughout the year, and you need something for Logan going into WrestleMania, right? So this would be the perfect starting point. What that is, I don't know, because Logan Paul just announced, by the way, earlier this week, Logan Paul will be fighting his brother Jake Paul in March. So, like, I think actually, wait, hold on. When is that fight? Versus Logan Paul. What day? Is it early March? Maybe he won't be at WrestleMania. March 27th. Whoa. Okay. And then WrestleMania is when? The 5th? April 19th and 20th. So that is literally like 3 weeks in between Jake Paul and Logan Paul. And then Logan Paul would be at Mania? I don't know, man, because what happens if what happens if Logan Paul gets hurt? What happens if Jake hurts Logan Paul? You know? I know it's wrestling, but at the same time, like 3 weeks in between WrestleMania and fighting his brother. That's wild. I don't know what to say about that, especially after seeing, this is the other thing, especially after seeing the video package for Logan Paul and him talking about how, you know, he's more focused than ever on becoming, you know, a world champion in the WWE, and this is his legacy and etc. And then to go fight his brother before WrestleMania doesn't make a whole lot of sense. TikTok says, "Are you sad John Cena is gonna retire?" No, I'm happy he's doing it the way he's doing it. I'm very happy that John Cena is going to have a last run, and I hope he becomes a world champion one more time. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see him right off in the sunset, everything work out perfectly, and he deserves it, in my opinion. So outside of that, man, you know, the fact that he knows his time is up, I think that's a wonderful thing. I hate seeing guys, like, to this day, it's kind of funny because we had some news that Triple H is getting inducted in the Hall of Fame as of yesterday. HBK, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker announced his induction in the WWE Hall of Fame. And you know, I watched this behind the scenes thing of how they surprised Triple H, and at the end of it, Shawn Michaels takes his hat off, and he's like so bald, like not like he shaved his head bald, he's like balding, and the dude's old. And so when I think about somebody like, you know, him or John Cena is, you know, a few years younger, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't look like Thugonomics John Cena. You know, he's getting up there in age. So I'd rather him do movies like in TV shows like the Peacekeeper thing. That show is cool. I'd rather him do that, have this last run. Hopefully the run is good, and him right off into the sunset. And Shawn Michaels' hair, man, so funny because he has that. He's got that sexy boy theme song, and he's like balding like a really old man. It's very, very funny how they never updated his song. It's a great song though. Okay, totally off the rails. Let's get back on the rails. Going through the list, you got Penta, like I said. I would love to see that. Him and Ray come face to face. I think Penta, by the way, and I'm just going to put this out there, I think he'd be the perfect guy for the LWO. I want to see that, man. I think Dragon Lee was a weird choice for the LWO, but Penta, LWO, would be amazing and probably revitalize the LWO. I think we're going to find out who Braun Breaker's opponent, his next big opponent, is going to be in the Royal Rumble. And then not just that, but I think this is going to be a shining moment for Jacob Fatu. I really do. I think Jacob is going to show a lot of people what he's capable of. And he's been doing it for months now, but and I was always like, man, I can't wait for Jacob to show up. And then he shows up and he's just a powerhouse, man. And he's so capable of being on the mic. He's like one of the best on the mic in the game. So yeah, those are the people that we know of. I will say that I would be shocked. I would be freaking shocked if we don't see Uncle Howdy. If we do not see Uncle Howdy into the Royal Rumble, man, that would be disappointing. And I mean, don't even get me started. That whole Wyatt Sitch thing, such a bummer, dude. Such a bummer. It has not worked out the way it should. I'm not sure what's going on with Bo Dallas. He hasn't made an appearance in weeks on Raw, and then they were moved to SmackDown. So I don't know what's going on. And then the only other guest appearance I can think of, outside of I Show Speed and Kai Cenat, is The Rock. And the reason that I think that is the only other star appearance is because we already know 18 of 30 entries. And then if you count the ones I've talked about, you're already into the middle of the 20s. So it doesn't give a whole lot of room for main roster guys or guys from NXT. And we know that at least like a few guys from the NXT roster will show up. So I'm going to say, like I said earlier on, I'm going to say I think Roman Reigns wins this. I truly do. Now, there is one far-fetched plan I could see. And this is me speculating, is that Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble. And he goes after Cody. He chooses Cody for WrestleMania. However, at the Elimination Chamber, CM Punk wins the Elimination Chamber and asks Paul Heyman for the favor. And that favor is to either add CM Punk to the match at WrestleMania. So it's CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Or if CM Punk asks for Roman to step away to go challenge Gunther, and then you get CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes for the championship at WrestleMania. 100% no show is Brock Lesnar. There are people that want Brock Lesnar to show, and I just don't see it happening. There's no need for him. That is the entire card. There are 4 matches. I'm excited to see what happens. I love being wrong, by the way. Like, if I'm not right at all and all of this is wrong, and I have, I love being surprised. And I am really trying to be using my head more than my heart in all of this, because I'm normally the guy who uses his heart over his head. And I just choose the ones I like, or the crazy situations I hope that occur. But I truly think you're going to see a lot of storylines come out of this. And hopefully I made a case for why those storylines are the way they are, and those winners are who they are. Shout out to Kyle Driver. I hope you're doing okay, man. Love you. This one's for you. And I can't wait to be here next time, post Royal Rumble, with reactions to everything that went down. This might be the most stacked Royal Rumble ever.